Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. This is the story about what if Naruto had void release. If you want more of such stories, make sure you're subscribed and hit like. And comment down below when you want the next part. Let's begin. Naruto has been attacked every single year on his birthday for some reason he's unaware of. However, on this particular year he has had enough and unlocks a very rare bloodline that not even the Kyuubi has ever seen before. A civilian from the angry mob had cornered Naruto and said, "This is the end of the line for you, fox brat. There's nowhere to run and nowhere to hid, demon. It's time to finish what the 4th Hokage started and destroy you. Say goodbye, demon." Naruto then turned to the angry mob, rage in his eyes clear as day as a black aura surrounded him. Naruto then faced his attackers and said, "You think I'm a demon? You don't know the first meaning of the word. You call me a monster. But you have never seen what a true monster is. You say I'm the Kyuubi when clearly I'm not supposed to know about that. You're breaking the Hokage's law. Thus, you are constantly inviting your own deaths. You want to see a demon and what a monster truly are. I'll show you a real monster. What a real demon is capable of doing. I'll send you people to a place where nothing else but demons live. Void release. Dark gate of the black abyss. Open the realm of demons, the realm of Izanami." Just then a black hole opened up beneath the angry mob as they were sucked into another world. A world where true demons and monsters dwell. And among them, their queen. Izanami. Naruto then snapped his fingers as the dark hole closed itself and Naruto walked away without a single scratch on him. From within the seal, the Kyuubi was watching everything that was happening. To say that he, the most powerful tailed beast, was scared of his host's new power was an understatement. He was utterly terrified of the potential Naruto had and the ability he just unlocked. The Anbu Black Ops, who were about to step in, realized that what Naruto did wasn't normal. Or an ordinary bloodline either. It was a bloodline far more dangerous than even the Sharingan and Rinnegan. The bloodline that could not only warp reality but also reshape it to open a black hole to other worlds. In fact, it was far superior to any teleportation jutsu in existence. And the Hokage knew all too well what would happen if the council found out. There wouldn't be a council left. Because Naruto would have sent them all to another dimension. Hell was about to break loose and Konoha was ground zero. After realizing that he was able to alter, manipulate and rewrite reality to his will, Naruto started going to the library and researching all the scientific methods and particles that makes up each and every single thing in the world. By seeing how the individual protons and neutrons react with each other. By discovering that everything is basically made of microscopic organisms. He realized that with enough training and practice, he could break solids into liquid objects, liquids into solid objects, and even breaking up their molecules. Naruto then took the books home with him as he made a glass of water and began his experiments. Naruto then said to himself, "Okay. So according to this book, water is basically 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. If I break up the 2 molecules into 3 individual parts and then reassemble them with a heavier mass, I should be able to turn the liquid into a solid element. Therefore making it a solid ball of water with all the same attributes of water in its liquid form. Alright, let's get started." Naruto then focused on manipulating the space around the water so that it lifted out of the cup. Naruto then concentrated on the molecular aspect of the floating water and in an instant its molecules were split apart. Naruto then added more weight to the molecules and recombined them as he shaped them into a solid ball. Naruto then grabbed the ball and threw it at the wall across the room. What happened next surprised even him. As the ball hit the wall, it ate through it like acid. Naruto then said, "Well, that was unexpected. Better start writing down everything that each individual object can do after it's remade. Don't want to make any errors without knowing the full extent of what I can and can't make. I'm hoping to take elemental jutsu, break them down and turn them into combat usable weapons. Better start small with something like a shuriken, then a kunai, and eventually large weapons like a sword. I should also explore the possibility of space and time manipulation along with gravity matter and antimatter. Shadow clone jutsu." After creating 10 clones of himself, Naruto then had each one read and study everything the books had on each subject. The clones then made multiple attempts to replicate the theories behind everything they read with substantial success. After dispelling one at a time, Naruto received all of the information slowly but carefully, going through each memory of his clones. Naruto then said, "Alright. That's enough experiments and studying for today. I need to get some sleep for the academy tomorrow. I don't want to be late for my own graduation exams. Perhaps I'll only show off 10% of what I've learned. What do you think, Kurama?" And Kurama said, "That seems substantial enough for now. If you need to show off, only use 15% of what you know. Better to keep what you know hidden rather than be like that Uchiha clan bastard Sasuke." And Naruto said, "Alright. You're the one with centuries of knowledge, so I'll take your advice. I think between the two of us you're actually smarter than me. Without shadow clones, I don't think I could have become this smart. Thanks for showing it to me. Naruto then went to bed early so he could be awake and at the academy early the next day. Of course, as usual, he would have to put up with Sasuke. He has two devoted sluts, Sakura Haruno and Ino Yamanaka. As much as he wants to obliterate them into tiny particles, he knew that one was a clan heir and the other one was the bitch daughter of another bitch on the civilian council. So for now he would just deal with them until team assignments were announced. After that he would ultimately care less about who he dealt with as a sensei and teammates. Naruto woke up bright and early the next day, and to Iruka's surprise, Naruto was actually an hour early. He then noticed the books Naruto was reading and said, Naruto, aren't those books a little bit advanced for you to be reading? Not that I'm questioning your intelligence or anything, it's just that it's awfully unusual for you to be here early. In fact, I thought you would be pulling some stupid prank right now, shouldn't you? And Naruto said, now why exactly would I do that, Iruka-sensei? That's what I've got shadow clones for. They're able to let me be in two places at once. So while the real me is here, I'm also technically not here as well. In fact, the Anbu are chasing my clones right now. I scattered 12 clones around the village. I might get away with painting the Hokage's monument, releasing the Inyazuka's hounds, pouring caffeine into the Nara clan water supply, dyeing all of the Hyuga clan elders' white clothes pink, and replacing all of the Hokage's poor novels with comic books and English literature. Huh, how about that? They're done already and not one Anbu can prove I wasn't in the academy. Because technically I am. And you're a witness to that. Sorry, Iruka-sensei. You lost this round of cat and mouse. Iruka was shocked. Naruto managed to prank the village and attend the academy at the same time. How did this happen? Iruka was so confused he couldn't even speak. Iruka then asked and said, and just where exactly did you learn the shadow clone jutsu to begin with, Naruto? That's a forbidden B rank technique within the Forbidden Scroll. And Naruto said, funny thing about the Forbidden Scroll. I'm the only Uzumaki clan member left in Konoha, correct? And if I am not mistaken, the Forbidden Scroll of Seals was a gift to Konoha and the first Hokage Hashirama Senju when he and his wife Mito Uzumaki got married as a sign of trust between clans, right? And Iruka said, well, yes, that's right. It was a part of the political marriage between the Senju and Uzumaki clan. Why do you ask? And Naruto said, so, would that or would that not technically mean that I'm related to Tsunade Senju of the Sannin and rightful owner of said scroll? Since my mother was Kushina Uzumaki. And if I'm not mistaken, my father's the fourth Hokage as well. Tell me how much closer to a secret I shouldn't know about being my heritage is or is not. Because the council can't keep their mouths shut to save their own lives. I know who I am. I know what I am and what I contain. The nine tails couldn't be killed. It's pure chakra, so it had to be resealed. My father's last dying wish to the village was that I be seen as a hero for containing the Kyuubi. Not continuously shunned because of it. Even by your standards, I'm nothing more than the monster that killed your parents, am I right? Iruka just put his head down in shame since he knows that everything Naruto just said was the truth and that nothing he did or said could change the fact he was right. 2 hours had gone by and everyone else had shown up. Iruka didn't say anything or even look in Naruto's direction, which everyone found strange. Normally Naruto was being yelled at. But something must have happened, and based on the killing intent Naruto let out, Sakura and Ino realized one thing. Naruto was furious at a lot of people. And Iruka was obviously one of them. Naruto then closed his chemistry book just as class had started, and by the time lunch came around everyone was starting to stare at Naruto like he was going to kill the first person who approached him incorrectly. Naruto then said without looking up from his book, if you have something to say to me, Sakura, just say it. And please don't yell with that banshee bitch voice of yours. I do have sensitive hearing like everyone else, you know. Not everyone likes hearing your loud mouth all the time. And Sakura said, fine. Then I'll just say it. Give those books to Sasuke-kun. He is more deserving of whatever you are reading than you are. And Naruto said, alright Haruno. I'll let him borrow it from me for the day if he's able to understand the first page on chemistry and how many hydrogen and oxygen molecules it takes to make a single drop of water. Or how hot something has to be and what conditions are needed for spontaneous combustion. Or how about explaining to me how the oxygen molecules from a single gust of wind and how fast the air needs to be in order to make, say, a fireball jutsu larger. Or how low the air temperature needs to be in order for a water-style jutsu to become an ice-style jutsu without the ice release bloodline. Explain all of this to me, miss, I'm a bookworm class genius. Or better yet, explain how matter is created and given form. Whether it's a liquid or a solid. and then broken down and turned into antimatter. Or perhaps you're smart enough to tell me how a space-time ninjutsu like the 4th Hokage's works without the application or use of his special kunai. It's all about knowing where you are going, how far the distance between you and the location you're teleporting to is, and how fast you would need to travel to cover said distance by taking into account the amount of time between locations and the amount of space in the area you plan on stopping at. Take into consideration the amount of chakra needed to travel each distance consecutively. And if you get even the smallest calculation incorrect, you could lose a body part in the process, if not kill yourself attempting it. Sakura was so dumbfounded that you could practically see her oversized fangirl brain about to explode as she got dizzy from everything Naruto just said and fainted onto the floor. Sakura then said, "Too much information. Can't process, can't think, need sleep, my head hurts. Please be my pillow Sasuke-kun. I want to be your wife and have your children. Marry me Sasuke-kun. I'll be a good little breeding factory for you and have lots of babies to restore your clan." Ino then said, "Now look what you did, Naruto. You overloaded her brain and now she's gone into hardcore fangirl mode talking about marriage with Sasuke-kun and having his children." And Naruto said, "You are aware of the fact that since Sasuke Uchiha is the last of his clan, he technically falls under the Clan Restoration Act of the Hidden Leaf Village and can have more than one wife to restore his clan, don't you? You and Sakura broke up your relationship over something very petty and foolish as being the only girl for Sasuke Uchiha. Kami, I really hope neither of you are my teammates. Because I can't stand you enough as it is already." Naruto then went back to reading his book and finishing his lunch, after which the bell rang and everyone went back to class. Iruka noticed that Sakura wasn't looking well, so he decided to find out what happened. Iruka then said, "You know what happened to Sakura? Did you use your clan's technique on her again?" And Ino said, "No sensei, I didn't do anything. It's all Naruto's fault. He overloaded Sakura's brain with questions about stuff she doesn't understand because she tried taking his books from him for Sasuke-kun. Her brain is stuck in fangirl mode and I can't snap her out of it. I'm not sure what I can do at this point for her." And Naruto said, "There's actually nothing that you can do for her because I overloaded her brain with enough information to put that inner personality of hers to sleep for the next month. She's going to be out cold for quite a while. And no amount of therapy can cure her." One thing was certain at the moment. If Naruto was this smart, who knows just how much smarter he really was? Not one person was willing to find out, that's for sure. And so as the day came to an end and 2 annoying fangirls put in their place, plus 1 arrogant Uchiha being swarmed by every girl around him, Naruto had once again outsmarted his classmates. He could finally go home and do more experiments. He was already beginning to look into more destructive science methods. Methods that could potentially kill a full-grown shinobi. Naruto had once again shown up early to the academy, only this time it was for team placements. Iruka had already listed off most of the teams and their sensei when finally he got to Team 7. Naruto was curious about Team 7, even though he already knew that Kakashi Hatake would be his sensei. So he decided to do a little bit of research on who the Hokage placed him with. And he wasn't pleased at all. He had that dimwit fangirl Sakura Haruno as his teammate and the arrogant Sasuke Uchiha as well. So he decided to make a few alterations to the Team 7 lineup and made it look like it was the Hokage's handwriting. Which wasn't that hard given the bloodline abilities he had. Naruto rearranged it so that he was with someone more competent and less arrogant. So he swapped out Sakura and Sasuke with Hinata and Shino, knowing full well what they're capable of doing in battle. Naruto then said to himself, "I switched up to the teammates with people more capable of backing me up. Made it look like the Hokage's the one who did it. And nobody else even noticed. Are people in the political system really that dumb and power hungry? Did they think I'll put up with a useless fangirl and a spoiled Uchiha who's just going to be even more spoiled? I don't think so." Iruka then said, "Team 7 will be Naruto Uzumaki, Hinata Hyuga, and Shino Aburam. Your sensei is Kakashi Hatake. We're going to take a 1-hour lunch break. Be back after that to meet your sensei. That is all." Hinata couldn't believe it. Her dream of being on a team with Naruto is actually coming true. She was so excited that her heart felt like it was beating out of her chest. Shino was also happy to be on a team with Naruto because they both share similar backgrounds. And yet, he couldn't help but think Naruto had a hand in this somehow. He's heard the rumors about Naruto's intelligence and his supposed bloodline abilities. However, those were only rumors and he always saw things from a logical point of view. Curious about how he and Hinata were put on the same team as him, he decided to ask about what he did. Shino then said, "Excuse me, Naruto, but you didn't have something to do with the rearrangement of our teams, would you?" I've heard rumors that there's an interesting bloodline ability you have that allows you to manipulate things and even reconstruct them. The Hokage and Shinobi Council decide who gets put on teams together. So did you do something to our parents and the Hokage to make them reconsider? Or did you make it look like the Hokage's the one who did it by rearranging the files without touching them? Logically speaking, the second option is the only logical one that makes sense. Since I was told by my father Hinata Kiba and I were to be in the same team instead of you. And Kurenai Yuuhi would be our sensei. Not Kakashi Hatake. And Naruto said. As usual Shino, your skills of deduction are very accurate. Yes. I rearranged the lineups for Team 7 and 8 for two reasons. The first is that Sakura is a useless fangirl who would get herself killed. The second reason is because I hate Sasuke Uchiha as if he were the bane of my very existence. Kakashi Hatake has an implanted Sharingan eye. He would have spoiled Sasuke and Sakura with more training and left me in the dust. I'm smarter than people realize, Shino. Far smarter than even the Hokage. So, I took it upon myself to alter the lineups so I have people more competent that I can rely on. Those people being you and Hinata. We all have some sort of abuse or emotionally challenging past we have gone through. For example, Shino, your clan's specialty is insects. But it's how your insects are used by your clan that makes people look down on you. Your insect hives are implanted into your body. Hinata's abuse is more verbal and emotional than physical. She's constantly suffering from the verbal abuse of being called a failure and useless by her own clan. Even her own father believes she's weak and useless. I don't think he's ever really seen the real you, Hinata-chan. Your family's elders are so focused on having a powerful clan heir like your sister that they fail to see that you are much stronger than you appear to be. Your goal in life is to be rid of the caged bird seal that the branch family of your clan has been enslaved by, correct? And Hinata said. Yes, that's my goal. How did you know that, Naruto-kun? Nobody should know about the caged bird seal outside of my clan. And Naruto said. Let's just say I overheard a drunk Hyuga clan member bragging about it once and decided to do some research. What I found out is that the caged bird seal was originally owned by my clan. The Uzumaki clan. Who created it as a form of torture and interrogation. So technically, your clan is using stolen Uzumaki clan property. Your clan elders know this and so does your father. My mother Kashina Uzumaki designed it after all. Hinata's eyes widened in shock. Her clan was using stolen property from the Uzumaki clan this whole time and her father was aware of it. How could they resort to such a thing like that? Hinata then said. Forgive me, Naruto-kun. If I had known that the caged bird seal originally wasn't my clan's to begin with, I would have refused to learn its application methods. All main house members are required to learn the caged bird seal jutsu in the event that a branch member decided to leave the clan. Can you remove it somehow? Do you have a way of getting rid of it for good? Please, Naruto-kun. Tell me so I can help my clan. And Naruto said. Yes, Hinata-chan. I can remove it. But it's going to be very painful for the branch family members. I've also created a more advanced version of the caged bird seal. One so advanced that only I could destroy it. Hello, Kakashi-sensei. As usual with everything you've done, you're 3 hours late. Do it again and I'll forcibly teleport you to us. Am I clear? Kakashi then gulped and said. Yeah, I mean a black cat crossed my path and, okay, truth is, I was at the Memorial Stone visiting your parents. And Naruto said. Fair enough. But next time at least let us know when you are showing up, will you? Unless you want me to rearrange your blood cells and burn you from the inside out. Or perhaps you would like to see how I can take water and turn it into acid. Or maybe you would prefer if I extract all the iron and calcium in your bones and snap you like a twig. Sounds like fun, doesn't it? And Kakashi said. Let's just do introduction and then we can find out more about each other over lunch. Noticing how Kakashi said all of that with fear in his voice made Shino and Hinata wonder if Naruto could actually do everything he said. Although knowing Naruto's unpredictable reputation, it wouldn't surprise them at all. Naruto then opened a portal to the academy roof and said. Well, what's everyone waiting for, an invitation? Sigh. If you guys must know, this is just one of the many basic abilities my void release bloodline ability lets me do. I can create a portal to pretty much anywhere at any time and any place, so long as I've already been there before. Teleportation Jutsu 101. If you know the location you're going to and it's a place you have been to before, it's easier to get there with a single thought. Time-space manipulation and physics. 101. Moving solid objects from one place to another through the use of dimensional travel. In order to successfully move from one spot to another, the gap between time and space must be equal to that of the object being moved and must stay connected on both sides. In other words, I'm basically moving us through what is the equivalent of a funnel. Or an air tube. going from point A to point B by connecting our current location to our designated location. Similar to how your kitchen sink water goes down the drain and into the underground sewer beneath the village. Kakashi then said. One question, Naruto. Is this really safe? Because you seem to know an awfully lot about this as if you have done it before. And Naruto said. It's safer and faster than walking or using the body flicker technique. It is based on the same principle as my father's Hiraishin technique. Only instead of moving short distances I'm basically moving as far as the Hokage's monument. And as fast as if you were to throw a kunai and shuriken at me. In between the time you've thrown those weapons and the time it takes to hit me even at long range. I'll have already gotten behind you and killed you without trying. Oh sorry. Did I mention I could also slow down time as well? Putting their faith in Naruto's abilities, they stepped through the portal and to their surprise there they were on the roof of the academy. Naruto was practically a genius with time-space ninjutsu already. Kakashi literally hit a goldmine with Naruto and his friends. Screw training that Uchiha Braddy wanted Naruto to help him improve his Kamui teleportation jutsu. Kakashi then said. Well, I guess since Naruto had told us about himself already, let's start with me. My name is Kakashi Hatake. My likes are none of your business. My hobbies you don't need to know either. Plans for the future. Well, I guess I don't really have any. Okay, Shino, you're next. And Shino said. My name is Shino Aburam. I like insects and discovering new species of insects as well. My hobbies include raising the insects at my clan compound and helping my parents. My hopes for the future is to become the next clan head and live a normal life. Hinata then said. I'm Hinata Hyuga, my likes are cinnamon rolls, and looks at Naruto. My hobbies are pressing flowers and training in my clan taijutsu style. My dream for the future is looks at Naruto. My goal is to become stronger for looks at Naruto. And my hopes are to rid my clan of the caged bird seal. Kakashi sighed and thought to himself. Just great. A bug. Enthusiast. A single fangirl that isn't Sasuke Uchiha's but Naruto's. And a prodigy with zero ambitions for the future. Well, it could have been worse. This will probably be the easiest Team 7 to work with. But the real threat of this team is Naruto. His void release bloodline is something entirely different. Hami help whoever makes him angry. Kakashi then said. Alright guys. Let's meet at Training Ground 7 tomorrow morning at 7 AM for your survival training test. Before you ask, you should know that the academy graduation test was to weed out those who were not able to make it as a shinobi. The real test begins tomorrow morning, and don't worry Naruto, I'll be there early. I hope I remember to at least. Well. Bye bye. Naruto then said. Alright guys, I'll take you home using my portals. First the Hyuga clan compound. I've been there before pulling pranks, so that's why I know where it is. Hinata then stepped through the portal, and within seconds she was outside her house, which surprised her completely. Naruto then said. Next is the Aburam clan compound. I know where that is because I've also pranked your clan Shino. Don't ask how because you don't want to know. Shino then stepped through the portal and thanked Naruto just as he walked through the time-space dimensional wormhole to his house. Naruto then thought to himself and said. Alright. Well, time to head home ourselves, don't you think so, Kurama? And Kurama said. I guess so. There's no reason to continue our experiments any further at the moment. We have all the data we need. We've tested out the matter and antimatter reconstruction, molecular demolition and reconstruction, and even reshaping the molecular structure of an element by adding more weight to it or subtracting weight from it. I think we're pretty well set. And Naruto said. Yeah, I guess you're right. We can put the theories and applications of particle acceleration and deceleration on hold for now. Nobody's going to find our notes because we keep them with us in a storage seal on my wrist. Naruto then opened a portal to his apartment and then walked through it. Just as he got there, the Hokage was waiting for him with his Anbu. Seeing this, Naruto got his guard up and out of thin air produced a Tanto sword. Hiruzen then said. Take it easy Naruto, my boy. They're not here to hurt you. And neither am I. I've been watching you closely and how fast you have progressed in your bloodline abilities by yourself. Creating wormholes for time-space ninjutsu. Traveling between dimensions to go longer distances than your father's Hiraishin. That construction of molecules of elements to recreate and reconstruct them as weapons. Using the molecular structure of an item to reshape it and change its attributes. I'm very impressed with how far you have taken your research. Tell me Naruto. What kind of seal is this you're working on? It's similar to the caged bird seal but different. What are you planning Naruto? If this is to liberate the corruption of the Hyuga clan, I advise you to be very careful with how you go about it. And Naruto said. What I'm planning and what you're assuming I'm planning is none of your business. I'm simply taking back what's been stolen from the Uzumaki clan. My mother Kishino Uzumaki created the caged bird seal for Konoha, and the Hyuga clan is basically abusing it for their own benefit. I'm just taking back what's rightfully mine. I know everything. The 9 tails sealed inside of me. But my parents are. What their last dying wish was. How they sealed the Kyuubi into me. And why I was chosen as the new host. I'm also aware of my blood relation to your student Tsunade Senju of the Sannin. And that is the last Uzumaki clan member of Konoha. The Forbidden Scroll of Seals also belongs to me as stated by Mito Uzumaki, who wrote that in the fine print of the political marriage between her and Hashirama Senju. I expect to have it by the time I make the rank of Chunin. Seems fair, don't you think? Or, I could always teleport to your office right now and take it and nobody would be the wiser. How do you think I made the team selection for Hinata and Shino to be my teammates look like it was your doing? I simply used my gravitational abilities and swapped the files without touching them or your stamp of approval and made it seem like it was you the whole time. I saw that you were going to put me with that bitch Sakura Haruno and that spoiled Uchiha bastard Sasuke Uchiha. So I looked at the other files and swapped the Team 7 and Team 8 lineups. I hate Uchiha Sasuke with a passion. And Sakura's fangirl mentality would get me killed. Plus I saw your Genin team and noticed the pattern. Me Sasuke Uchiha and Sakura Haruno remind you of them and hoped we'd put our bad habits aside and would be like your old Genin team of the Sannin. I was not putting up with a fangirl and an Uchiha who Kakashi with his Sharingan would purposely throw me and Sakura aside to train. And Hiruzen said. I could arrest you for multiple things right now, Naruto. But perhaps you're right. Perhaps I wasn't thinking logically. Kakashi wanted you as his only student to make amends for your parents. Your father was his sensei. The council, however, demanded that I place Sasuke Uchiha under Kakashi Hatake to unlock his Sharingan and use him to control you, the jinchuriki of the Kyuubi. In the event you lose control over it. But based on what you have told me, you and the Kyuubi seem to get along quite well. How did that happen, if I may ask? And Naruto said. I met the Kyuubi last year on my birthday. He told me everything that happened. Who my parents were. And how to use my bloodline abilities after months of research on it and its numerous applications. I haven't needed his power and we agreed that he would only lend it to me to heal me. Otherwise I use my own power and my own skills. This Tanto sword in my hand can cut through solid steel, flesh and bones. A single scratch and if I wanted to I could have it peel away your skin. This is made from the water and air molecules that surround you, me and your Anbu. By changing its attributes I can turn water into acid and fire into lava. Or even lightning into plasma. Do not make me hurt you, old man. Just give me my inheritance now and the forbidden scroll that belongs to my clan after the Chunin exams. And I'll forget your little twisted idea to make a next generation Sannin team. I'm not like Jiraiya. Sakura isn't Tsunade. And Sasuke Uchiha isn't Orochimaru. He craves power to kill his brother. Not become a homicidal scientist shinobi. Bent on revenge. The three of us are not and never will be the next generation of Sannin. Now leave. Before I force you out. This conversation is over. And Hiruzen said. Very well, Naruto. You will have your inheritance. Before you become a Chunin. But the scroll of forbidden seals will remain with me until you are promoted. And Naruto said. Fair enough. I'll take my inheritance after the Genin team test with Kakashi sensei. And all of the money better be there. Otherwise it's curtains for the civilian and merchant council. Hiruzen could tell that Naruto was very serious about his threat to destroy the council, and so with a wave of his hand, he looked to his Anbu and said. Nico. Tora. Inform the civilian and merchant council that Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze is being given his inheritance and all rights that come with it, including clan heir status of the Uzumaki and Namikaze clans. Non-negotiable. Tell the merchant council that if even one Ryo is missing from either the Uzumaki clan or Namikaze clan accounts, that they are to pay it back in full before the end of tomorrow. Or I'll have the daimyo shut down their businesses for good. Inform both council that this is a direct order from the Hokage. The two Anbu then saluted the Hokage and said. Yes, Lord Hokage. Right away. Shall we also gather the shinobi council to inform them of Naruto-sama's new status as a clan heir? And Hiruzen said. What do you think, Naruto? Should I inform the shinobi council of your heritage and clan heir status? It's your decision. And Naruto said. Just the clan council. And only the clan council of shinobi. The less who knows in the village the better. I'll reveal my heritage to all the civilians at the Chunin exams finals. Eventually after that they will regret their mistreatment of me. And Hiruzen said. You truly are smarter than even myself, that it frightens me, you know that. Very well. If that is what you wish, then I'll allow it. Have a nice evening, Naruto. And good luck with your test tomorrow. Kakashi has never passed a single team before. Hopefully you're the first ones to pass his test. The Hokage then left through a portal Naruto opened to his office and then closed it. Naruto then went to bed so he could be up early for the bell test of Kakashi Hatake. How well this new formation of Team 7 would work out even the Hokage wasn't sure. But one thing was certain. Naruto had just made some very powerful enemies. Both politically and as a shinobi. Naruto was in his apartment working on his latest experiments. The acceleration and deceleration of particles, atoms and molecules. He looked at the clock realizing that it said 6 AM. Naruto hadn't realized that it was that time, and so he decided to finish his studies, wrote down his notes, and sealed them into his storage seal on his wrist. Naruto then got cleaned up and put on clean clothes. He then left the apartment and made his way to training ground 7. By the time he got there it was already 5 minutes to 7, so he was a little bit earlier than he expected had he not stopped for 3 bowls of ramen to go. Kakashi then showed up at 2 minutes to 7 and Hinata and Shino soon after. Naruto was surprised that Kakashi actually took his threat seriously the other day. Naruto then said, "Huh. So you're actually on time like the rest of us, aren't you, Kakashi-sensei? So what is the test?" And Kakashi said, "Well, you kinda didn't give me much of a choice in the matter. I woke up 2 hours early so I wouldn't be boiled alive with my own blood." And Naruto said, "Please don't tempt me, Kakashi-sensei. Because I might just consider making you the first test subject for my most recent research. How acceleration and deceleration of molecules, atoms and particles affect the human body. Basically what happens is I come in contact with someone or something and one of two things will happen. The first is that the human body will become stronger and more durable. The second, the body begins to slowly and carefully fall apart through the process of de-aging the human blood cells. Sounds like fun, doesn't it, guys?" Shino then said, "Logically speaking, if you were able to accomplish such a thing, you could commit a murder, make it look like natural causes and not get caught for it. A very frightening way to be killed. The research and development, Naruto, is very disturbing and overwhelmingly complex for someone else to understand. Even I with my logical mind can't fully comprehend the applications of your research and how much it's going to benefit the village. Or destroy it." And Naruto said, "Actually, Shino, it's impossible to replicate my research notes and apply them because I always keep them with me at all times. Not in plain sight for all to see." Kakashi then said, "Alright guys. For this test I have 2 bells. You must each get a bell before noon or you all fail. You should also know that this particular test has only a 66% success rate." And Shino said, "I'm beginning to think that this test is really to test not just our individual skills but how well we work together. Logically speaking. If there's only 2 bells and you said we each have to get 1, that would mean only one of us would be sent back to the academy. This is a test to turn us against each other. This is a test of teamwork and deception, isn't it? If that's the case then I shall be the decoy and..." Naruto then said, "Don't worry, Shino. I have it all figured out already and a plan on how to win and get the bells from Kakashi-sensei." This was over before it began. And Kakashi said, "If you are so positive about that, Naruto, then let's begin, shall we? You have 5 hours to get a bell. Begin." Naruto then went through a series of hand seals. "Oh it ought." Naruto then said, "Void release. Temporal space distortion jutsu." Kakashi then felt the area and space around him begin to shift and time for him began moving slowly. But for Naruto, Hinata and Shino time was moving normally. Curious as to what just happened, Shino decided to ask and said, "Why is Kakashi-sensei just standing there? Why hasn't he moved at all since you used your jutsu, Naruto? Should we not be planning our next move to pass the test?" And Naruto said, "Actually, Shino, it's quite the opposite. We have all the time we need to figure out how to win. You see, the way my temporal space distortion jutsu works is that whoever or whatever is trapped within it is stuck in a sort of temporary infinite time loop. While time for us is moving normally, time inside the jutsu itself for Kakashi-sensei is moving much slower. In simple terms, Kakashi-sensei is stuck like that for the next 2 hours until I release him from the jutsu. That's about as long as I can make it last without using too much chakra. And is just enough time for us to make our move. Shino, drain his chakra. Hinata-chan, close his tenketsu points. I'll grab the bells." Shino then used a swarm of his insects to completely drain Kakashi's chakra, while Hinata hit all of his chakra points and closed them. Naruto then grabbed the bells and released Kakashi from his jutsu. Kakashi then came to his senses. Once he regained movement he said, "Alright guys, now try to hold on. Where are the bells? I just had them with me." Naruto then said, "Looking for these, Kakashi-sensei?" You weren't aware of it until now, but my jutsu put you in a temporary state of infinite time loop where time for you repeated the same moment more slowly. While time for us moved normally, and we managed to drain your chakra and shut down your chakra points within less than what you thought was 3 hours inside the jutsu was only an average of 30 minutes for us. We worked as a team so we win the test. So you have no choice but to pass us, don't you? Then Kakashi said. Well, I guess you're right, Naruto. Since you guys did use teamwork and got the bells from me, I guess you all passed. Meet back here tomorrow at the same time for our first mission. Glad that they passed Kakashi's test, the team went their separate ways as Naruto sent Hinata and Shino home. Naruto then sensed the Hokage's Anbu coming, and so he decided to do what he did with Kakashi. He paralyzed them within a temporary infinite time loop. Naruto then noticed the scroll in their hand and guessed that it's his inheritance. Naruto then grabbed the scroll from the Anbu and left as he freed the Anbu from his jutsu. Naruto then said, "Huh. So the old man actually held up on his deal with me and told the truth. Looks like I won't have to kill the council after all. Thanks for scroll. But before I free you from my jutsu completely, let's see who's behind that adorable cat mask of yours." Naruto then lifted up the Anbu Black Ops mask and saw the most beautiful brown eyes and purple hair he's ever seen. Naruto wondered how someone so beautiful would choose to hide such a pretty face. Naruto then said, "Let's check your shinobi ID to see who you really are." Yugao Yazuki. Anbu Jonin of Konoha, codename Miko. Commanding Officer. Ibiki Marino. Headquarters location. D&I Department. Primary Station. The Hokage's bodyguard. And Anbu guardian of Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. Naruto then put Yugao's ID back in her pocket and lowered her mask as he whispered into her ear. "Now I know who you are. What you look like. Where your headquarters is. Who you work for and where your station is. If you were my Anbu Black Ops guardian, you would have done a better job of protecting me. Tell nobody that I know of the Anbu hideout, or I won't make it so secretive any longer. This is our little secret. Now then. Back to the Hokage's office with you." Naruto then opened a portal to the Hokage's office and shoved Yugao through it just as he released her from his jutsu. Hiruzen then said, "Nico, you're back already? That was quite fast and let me guess. Naruto caught you off guard, didn't he? He took the scroll and then sent you back here. What else does he know about?" And Nico said, "Forgive me, Lord Hokage. But he somehow trapped me in space and time. Well, I thought nothing happened. In reality, I was stuck in a time loop for 2 hours, which outside of the jutsu was only 20 minutes. He knows my Anbu secret identity. Where Anbu headquarters is. Where I'm stationed and what my other duties are besides being your guard. He knows that I'm one of his Anbu guards and said if I was his Anbu guardian that I could have been doing a better job. What now, Lord Hokage? We can't let Naruto go outside the village with this information. My position has been compromised. Should I continue my duties or shall I resign from the Anbu and protect him publicly?" And Hiruzen said, "No. Just because he's aware of who and what you are does not mean he will give up the information once out of the village. This is very troubling. If he's aware of the fact that Kakashi and Itachi were also his Anbu guards, then Kakashi better tread carefully. Naruto really is more powerful than I originally thought. Naruto is currently moving into his parents' estate. I'm sending you there not as an Anbu, but as his legal guardian. Your fiancé Hate will be joining you. If Naruto feels he must expose the identity of every Anbu Black Ops, then I fear I know who he is looking for. Danzo's top root agents. Fuyamanaka and Toru Naburam. Once that happens, he will be on a manhunt for every hidden root Anbu in the village. As his legal guardians. You and Hate are to keep him from doing so. Leave Danzo's organization to me. Protect Naruto at all costs. I have the official adoption papers here for the two of you to sign. Hate has already agreed and signed his name. It's your decision whether or not you want this responsibility." And Yugao said, "Very well, Lord Hokage. I shall take on this responsibility. If Hate-kun has already agreed, then so shall I." Yugao then signed the adoption papers, which would be presented to Naruto on his next birthday. Sadly, that was during the Chunin exams, so it had to be well before that. One thing was certain. Naruto's life was about to completely change. The question is, would he be able to keep his experiment secret from his new adoptive parents? Or would they learn the hard way that there's some secrets Naruto has that are best left alone? Only time would tell. Naruto had been curious about how the universe worked. More specifically, time travel. And whether or not he could actually pull something as big as that off. However, he knew that messing with the space-time continuum had its risks. Where altering even one past event could completely alter the current timeline and change everyone's future, not just his. But it's not so much how as it was why he wanted to discover time travel. Naruto wanted to see his parents from the night he was born before the Kyuubi attached. Though he felt like his intentions were pure although slightly greedy, he would go to any lengths to see them just once to know what they looked like. Even at the risk of altering both his and the Nine Tails' future as well. Naruto then said as he was reading a book on wormholes and time travel. And how dimensional teleportation was similar but also different in nature. He found out that while he could use dimensional wormholes to travel from one place to another. Using a natural wormhole's connection to black holes was even riskier, but that didn't stop him from achieving his goal. He wouldn't go through the time portal, he would simply use it like a mirror. After hours of intensive research and writing down notes on the theory of space-time travel and how the very fabric of space and time itself works, he decided to call it quits for the day. Naruto then said, "Well shit. This is going to be a lot harder than I initially thought, Kurama. If we're going to pull this off, we need to know the fullest extent of how far back in time we can go before attempting it. Let's start with 24 hours. Then slowly work our way up to a week. Then a month. Then a year. After the testing is complete and we have our results, we can note them down and make an attempt to open up a time bridge like a gateway between dimensions. Only we're connecting one end of a black hole's gravitational force with another black hole on the opposite side. If we don't get everything just right, we could destroy everyone's future, not just ours. And as crazy as it seems, I think we can pull it off as long as we have something to stabilize the portal. It has to be something stronger than chakra and heavier than metal. But where would we find such materials to do that? I mean, it's not like there's an abundance of materials and information like that just laying around somewhere in the elemental nations, is there? I doubt we could even find the place if there was. It's almost impossible since the place wouldn't even exist anymore. It's probably in ruins by now." And Kurama said. Actually Naruto, there is a place like that actually. It's actually the place where your mother and the first Hokage's wife Mito Uzumaki was from. The land known as Whirlpool Country on a village island known as Uzushio. The Hidden Tide Village. If there's any place that might have the materials we need for this crazy experiment of yours, then it's definitely there. Fortunately for you, I know where the Hokage keeps the Hidden Tide Village location on a map. The map itself is in the Hokage's office, hidden in a safe behind the first Hokage's picture. Because your part Senju, your blood should unlock the seal, and you should easily be able to take the map and find the island. I don't know the exact location, but I do know that it's located somewhere between the borders of Water and Fire Country. Not far from a shipping island called Wave Country. And Naruto said. "Thanks Kurama. And how fortunate for us. Because that's exactly where my next mission will be at." A bridge builder named Tazuna requested protection and escort back to Wave Country. This could work to our advantage, Kurama, it could work out for us indeed. Kurama didn't know why, but for some reason he didn't like the way how Naruto said that. Almost as if he was way too anxious to find the materials and start construction of his time travel portal. If he was successful, he could go in between the past, present and future at will. Sadly, such power like that would have to remain a huge secret from everyone, including the Hokage. If the Hokage found out what Naruto was planning on doing, well, let's just say Hiruzen would think that Naruto was the second coming of Orochimaru. Only instead of human test subjects, it was something far more horrifying. It was messing with the very fabric of space and time itself. A feat that only very few people throughout history have achieved without some sort of seal or bloodline ability to do so. Lucky for Naruto, he had exactly that. However, finding the materials was one thing. Finding a power source strong enough to kickstart the reaction was a whole nother type of research entirely. He knew that in theory he could do it, but the amount of chakra he would need was the equivalent of all the tailed beasts put together. Both his and Kurama's chakra alone wouldn't be enough to power what he was planning in the end. It was a matter of how far he was willing to go and what he would give up just to complete his greatest experiment ever. Naruto, with his vast knowledge, would be the very first genin to time travel. The question he had for himself was, if he went back in time to meet his parents, would he be able to return to his timeline 12 years later in the present? And even worse, mess up the future? All these questions and more ran through his mind as he began to wonder if the risk was well worth the reward. And if it was, would he be satisfied with himself and what he saw? Or would he destroy his greatest achievement after he did manage to see his parents? Only time would tell. Time that Naruto had hoped to gain for just a single moment and not regret it with his parents at all. The gods would soon eventually take notice of this, and that's when the real threat on Naruto's life would begin. Naruto, Kakashi, Hinata and Shino were at the gates of the village with their client Tazuna. Tazuna was a bridge builder from Wave Country which was suffering a great depression from a business tyrant named Gato. Kakashi then said, "Okay Tazuna. We don't need to walk all the way back to Wave Country because Naruto here can." Naruto then said, No. No, I can't open a portal to Wave Country and save us time, because unless you have forgotten Kakashi-sensei, I can't open portals to places I haven't been to or seen before. Wave Country is new for me, so I can't use my void release to get us there. Unless you actually want to have your body broken down to an atomic cellular level and scattered across the universe like food in a garbage disposal unit. Do you? And Kakashi said. Oh right, sorry. It completely slipped my mind. Well team. I guess we're walking to Wave Country from the village. Why do I get the feeling this is going to be a very stressful trip? Izuna then said. Hey Kakashi. Just what exactly did the kid mean when he said he could create portals to places he's been to? Is that some kind of unique ability he's got or something? I don't see how that's physically or scientifically possible. And Kakashi said. Have you heard of the 4th Hokage's Hiraishin technique? Well, it's similar to that, the only difference is Naruto can travel farther and in half the time without the use of seals or a special kunai. All he needs to do is visualize where he's going, and with a snap of his fingers, he can open up a dimensional wormhole to that place with little effort whatsoever. Naruto then said. It's true, Izuna. If I had already visited Wave Country, I would be able to visualize what it looks like and where specifically we were going to, and poof. Instant dimensional doorway to Wave Country. I try not to rely on them too much, otherwise it's pointless to go out of my apartment. I can also slow down and speed up time. Manipulate time and space for a limited amount of time around other people and objects. And even turn back time by about as much as a few hours to a few days. The farthest back in time I've gone so far in my experiments is 1 week. Then 1.5 weeks. At my current level of control, I could turn time back as far as 1 full month. But even though I could, this doesn't mean that I should be doing it all the time unless necessary. Messing with time travel without knowing the risks is a very tricky thing to do if you don't get the exact time and place 100% correct. One small mistake and you're trapped in the emptiness of space and time for all eternity. It's why I experiment with shadow clones and inanimate objects when I do them. If I messed with the time-space continuum too much, I could accidentally change past events that would alter this timeline and completely change or worse. Destroy our future selves timeline. Cause and effect. Make one small change in the past. Alter the present. Alter the present. Change the future. It is not something I recommend you ask me to do. Just then Kakashi heard a sword flying through the air about to decapitate their heads. With a snap of his fingers, Naruto opened a portal as the sword went into it and reappeared behind them after opening up another portal. Zabuza Mamachi then appeared and said. Well, I haven't seen something like that before. Let me guess. You're a void release bloodline user, aren't you, kid? It's the only explanation for that black hole that unexpectedly appeared and sucked in my sword. Which I will be taking back now if you don't mind. Zabuza then gripped his sword and went to pull it out of the ground, but when he couldn't even lift it, he was surprised that the weight and mass of it had increased. Zabuza then said. What the hell? Why can't I lift my sword? What did you do to my executioner's blade, you blonde brat? And Naruto said. I didn't do anything to it other than increase its weight, mass and elemental composition. By doing so, the gravity around it is keeping it held in place, making it impossible to pull out of the ground, even by someone as strong as you. Zabuza kept struggling to pull his sword out of the ground, but no matter how hard he pulled on it, he still couldn't get it to come out of the earth. Zabuza then said. Give me my sword back right now. I said. Give it back. Naruto just smirked and said. Alright, if you say so. You want it back, take it. Naruto then snapped his fingers, and Zabuza went flying backwards and crashed into the trees behind him. Naruto then raised his hand as if lifting something, and Zabuza's sword hovering in midair was then pointed at his throat as Naruto said. Where's your accomplice, Zabuza? You're obviously not alone in this attack. So tell me. Where is the ice release bloodline user you're partners with hiding? The lake behind you perhaps? Or maybe the tree line? And Zabuza said. You keep your hands off of Haku. He's got nothing to do with this. He's just my apprentice. If you're going to kill me with my own sword, then get it over with already. And Naruto said. Tempting offer. But I'm not the kind of person to needlessly kill someone without a good reason unless they actually deserve it. No, I'm going to make you look over your shoulders every minute of every hour of every day. Tell Gato and his bandits that his days are numbered. Tell Gato. The Reaper is coming for him, and death always collects what he's owed. Gato's time in the world of the living is almost up. In 2 weeks' time, he will die. Now, take your sword and your apprentice and leave. Before I decide to change my mind. Zabuza then gripped his sword and restrapped it to his back and said. Yeah. Sure, no problem. Just don't kill Haku next time we meet, okay? Kill me or spare me, I don't care, but spare Haku. He's innocent. Kakashi then sweat dropped and said. Naruto. Remind me to never piss you off when it comes to protecting others. What you did made me feel like I was still a genin all over again. It was like watching your father all over again. Crap. I shouldn't have said that. The heavier than normal black and purple aura of killing intent from Naruto's void release manifested around him as he turned around and said. You knew who my parents were, you lazy perverted bastard. Tell me right now before I send you to the deepest darkest pits of hell for eternity. Kakashi could tell that he slipped up and said something that the Hokage's going to definitely reprieve him for. Kakashi then said. I'm sorry Naruto, I've told you too much already. You're not even supposed to know about them. But I'm sure you are already aware of who they are. Right? I would hope you did. Please don't kill me. Shino tried using his bugs to drain Naruto's chakra to stop him from killing Kakashi, but the levels of darkness surrounding him were just too strong and his insects died on contact. Hinata got as close as she could to Naruto in order to calm him down and just barely succeeded. Hinata then grabbed Naruto's hand and said. Naruto-kun. Please, calm down. I'm sure you don't have to go through such extreme lengths to get the answers you're looking for. Please. Calm yourself until the mission is over and then I'll have my father and I get the answers you deserve. Naruto then began to relax a little bit as his dark purple aura had begun to fade away until it completely vanished. Had his dark aura spiked any higher, he would have unleashed hell upon the earth itself. The mission continued with Hinata not once leaving Naruto's side because she knew that he was still very angry. If anything, Naruto's outburst brought them closer together. And she wouldn't have it any other way. The calmer Naruto was, the less havoc across the land that happened. And Kakashi gets to keep his head as well. But for how long he wasn't sure once the Hokage got done with him. They made it to Tazuna's house not long after Zabuza had fled from Team 7 and when they saw the bridge Naruto was slightly impressed. However, this still didn't change the fact that Kakashi and everyone else including the Hokage knew about his parents. Naruto then jumped out of the boat and using the water walking technique which the Kyuubi helped him with looked at his teammates and said. You guys continue ahead without me. I've got some personal things to take care of somewhere else. Things involving my experiments. Don't ask because I can't tell you about it. Nor will I ever tell the Hokage about it either. The old man doesn't know how to keep his mouth shut about people with unique bloodline abilities and power that could benefit the village and become more powerful. He's lying manipulative and didn't really care about my well-being. Only the Kyuubi that sealed inside of me. Naruto then started walking towards the east-northeast of Wave Country to the land of whirlpools where he would soon find the materials needed to build a time travel portal stable enough to see his parents. Kakashi suspected from the start that Naruto was a little bit too excited to be going on the wave mission, but even now still didn't know why. Kakashi then said. Tazuna. What could be in the direction that Naruto was heading? I'm not certain what his reasoning is, but he seemed like he was a little bit too excited to be going on this mission. And Tazuna said. I'm not sure. The only things out that way I know of from when I used to go sailing with Kaiza are a bunch of old village ruins. The buildings all had the same symbol as the one on your vest. I don't know what he's looking for or hopes to find, but there's nothing left of the place. Kakashi's eyes widened in fear and said. Tazuna. You need to tell me everything you and Kaiza saw on that island. That island you discovered holds great and valuable resources and artifacts for Konoha. It's the home island of the Uzumaki clan. Naruto's clan. Kami help us all if he's figured out what happened to them. Did you take anything from the island? Anything at all? And Tazuna said. No, we didn't take anything because of the heavy whirlpools that surrounded the island completely. I swear we couldn't even get close enough to the shoreline without being sucked in. And Kakashi said. Oh no, this is bad. Very, very bad. The reason for why you couldn't get to the island is because of the fact that only an Uzumaki clan member is able to cross over them. Naruto is half Uzumaki. So by blood he is able to cross over them without any trouble at all. We're dead, oh so very much dead. This isn't good. Not good at all. And Shino said. Logically speaking. Based on how afraid of this new information you have Kakashi-sensei. It's only safe to assume that you know the history behind Naruto's clan specialties. You're afraid that if he's discovered something horrifying by now it will awaken a far more dangerous ability within him. One that could cause the village of Konoha to be destroyed. And Kakashi said. You have no idea how right you are about that, Shino. No idea at all. If Naruto finds what I think he's looking for, then we could all be in great danger. End of the world kind of danger. And Hinata said. Kakashi-sensei, should I go after him? I'm not perfect at it, but I can use the water walking technique. Naruto-kun would teach me with shadow clones in his spare time to control my chakra better. I can also do the tree walking exercise. Kakashi then said. Do you think you can catch up with him in time, Hinata? I hope so, because I've got a very bad feeling about what Naruto's planning. And it isn't for the benefit of the village or this mission. It's for himself. And Hinata said. I can try my best to catch up with him, but he might already be there by now. I'll use my Byakugan and search for him. If I find him, I will keep watch from a distance. Trust me, sensei. Naruto will listen to me. He did before, so I'm certain he will again. I just hope I can get to him in time. Meanwhile, Whirlpool Country. Naruto had made it to the village island where his mother came from and was currently searching for what would show him who his parents were and what they looked like. He knew their names. He just wanted to see their faces for the first time. Something he never got to do because they died when he was born. Looking around, Naruto found an underground hidden doorway which was only accessible with Uzumaki clan chakra. He pushed his chakra into the seal and it unlocked. He then went down a very long hallway, and when he reached the end of it, he found what looked like a large archway with multiple seals for time, space, and gravity. Looking it over, Naruto now realized what kind of material this thing was made from. It was made from the strongest metal not found anywhere else in the elemental nations. It was made from metals that were only available in one place, Iron Country, the land of the samurai. Naruto then said. Well, imagine that. It seems like my clan had an alliance with the land of iron before Konoha and Fire Country. Makes sense. Iron Country produces some of the strongest steel on the planet. And the forges from which the metals are crafted in just as famous. I guess Old Man Hokage was unaware of the fact that Mifune wasn't really sharing the best metals available with Konoha because he felt they couldn't be trusted with it. I'll have to find out how to contact Lord Mifune and get this material for myself. Kurama then said. Remember what you came here to do, Naruto. You wanted to see your parents. This actuate device will let you be able to do that. We'll be having company topside very shortly. Hinata's come running after you apparently. You really need to give that girl a chance. Who knows? You might just enjoy being around her and eventually. And Naruto said. Don't even start going there, Yuiro Baka Fox. Right now Hinata and I are just friends and teammates. We're too young right now to be thinking about stuff like that. Besides, what makes you think she would want to be with someone like me anyway? What is it about me that she likes compared to the other clan heirs like her? What makes me so different in her eyes that I'm worth her time? And Kurama said. You're pretty foolish for someone so smart. But if you want to know, let me count the reasons why. 1. You are kind and caring. 2. You never give up and are always smiling. 3. You never see the bad in people, only the good. 4. You are willing to take a beating for others who don't deserve it. 5. You saved her from being bullied every time on multiple occasions. Do I need to continue or have I made my point? And Naruto said. Alright, I get it already. She likes. Probably even loves me because of my personality and will to never give up. To never stop trying. To keep fighting for others and carry the weight of their own pain and suffering. Let's just get this over with so I can get back to Wave Country and making it seem like I was never gone. I don't know how much longer the shadow clone on the island will last. Hopefully long enough to keep Hinata distracted from finding this place. But even with her Byakugan she can't get down here. Not without ... shit. And Kurama said. You're just realizing that now. If she's able to convince the shadow clone to open that hidden doorway to this place, it's all over for you. Your goal of seeing your parents will be for nothing and you will go your entire life never knowing what they looked like and only who they were. And Naruto said. Well then we better get started. Okay, let's see here now. Here we are. The scroll for how to operate the archway. Step 1. Spread your blood over the shape of the Uzumaki clan symbol. Step 2. Channel your chakra into the seals on the archway. Step 3. Input the month, date and time point you wish to see or visit. Sounds simple enough. Alright, let's get started. Naruto then did as the instructions said and input the night he was born. The bright white light appeared in the archway and when it faded he was staring at his parents. Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki. But he also saw one other person. The man with an orange mask holding him captive. As much as he wanted to stop this particular event, he knew that it would only alter his present timeline and change his future drastically. Just watching everything unfold, he realized how his parents died. How the masked man called Madara Uchiha controlled Kurama. And how Kurama was sealed into him. Naruto then deactivated the device, but not before seeing what happened after Kurama's attack. He watched as the Hokage Hiruzen Sarutobi made a law declaring nobody from any family, shinobi clan or otherwise, could adopt him. He also sought Tsunade and Jiraiya of the Sannin, demanding they take him into their care. He didn't hear much other than the words. Senju clan, Uzumaki clan related and godparents. Naruto then shut down the archway and fell to his knees, gritting his teeth and balling up his fists until his knuckles turned white. Naruto then said, "You'll pay for this. They're all going to pay for what that old man didn't want them to know. I'll make the village council elders pay with their lives. And then I'll make the old man suffer and force him to reveal my heritage to the people. Or die trying." Naruto's dark purple aura then erupted from his body like an intense shockwave of anger, hatred, rage and a lust for killing. It was in that moment that Naruto had fully awakened his void release bloodline. Being able to phase through solid objects, vaporize any materials living or otherwise, and even erase people from existence completely. Kakashi was right about one thing. Naruto did find what he's looking for, and with it did come epic disastrous results that could end the world. The question is, what was it that caused this to happen? The answer was simple really. Kurama's chakra was mixing with Naruto's void release bloodline abilities. The very fabric of space and time was about to fall apart completely, and only the gods Izanami and Izanagi could stop it from happening. The question is, after Naruto explains everything, would they want to repair the damages done? Or train him to control his newfound power? Only time would tell. 2 weeks have passed since Zabuza's encounter with Team 7 after being spared by Naruto and leaving with Haku alive. But as much as Zabuza is known as the demon of the mist, there's someone far greater. That person is Naruto, who will soon gain a similar moniker, the Dark Demon of the Hidden Leaf Village. Not long after the fight between Zabuza and Kakashi began, Hinata came back with Naruto. The only big difference is Naruto was furious. Furious with the Hokage. Furious with the Konoha Council. Furious with the entire village. It's this heavy anger, rage, hatred and lust for killing that sent shivers down everyone's spines. Kakashi realized in that moment, when Naruto and Hinata stepped out of the portal, that he wasn't the same person he was before the mission. Kakashi then said, "Zabuza, we're all dead, every last one of us is doomed. You feel that, don't you? That malice and hatred. It's Naruto. I don't know what he saw or what he found in the Uzumaki clan island ruins. But whatever it was, couldn't be good for Konoha." Ado and his men then showed up as he said, "I'm disappointed in your efforts, Zabuza. It seems that I won't be getting taken away by the Reaper." Naruto kept walking closer and closer and closer to Gado and his bandits. The closer he got, the more frightened they became of him. Naruto then said, "If you think Zabuza's a demon, Gado, then like everyone else in my village, you don't even know the very first meaning of the word demon. Why don't I show you what a real monster or demon can do, and you tell me if the Reaper has come to take you away." Void release. Gravity binding jutsu. With outperforming hand seals, Naruto manipulated the gravity around Gado and his men. Unable to move, Gado's men panicked as they are unable to draw their weapons and fight back. Naruto then said, "Void release. Atomic dismantling jutsu. Time to die." Naruto then snapped his fingers, and the next thing everyone saw was Gado and his men's bodies, or lack thereof, being scattered and turned into blood stains all over the bridge, with dismembered limbs and heads being the only thing left of their bodies. All of the internal organs, muscle tissue, blood cells and nerve endings were completely gone, with nothing left at all. Naruto's aura was flaring relentlessly to the point even Kakashi and Tazuna could barely speak. Naruto then said, "Our mission here is done. We got you back and your bridge is finished. We have no more reason to stay, and I have some personal business to talk with the Hokage and his council about. Let's go. Unless you would rather walk back to the village, that is." Kakashi then said nothing as Naruto opened up a portal to Konoha and the Hokage's office, where Naruto's dark, heavy killing intent was flaring relentlessly once again as Team 7 Zabuza and Haku stepped through the portal. Hiruzen noticed it open up in his office. But what scared him the most was the killing intent being leaked towards him by Naruto. Hiruzen then said, "I take it you know everything, and I'm more than likely going to be dead soon, aren't I, Naruto?" And Naruto said, "Oh, you have no idea how right you are, old man. But being dead afterwards is putting it very lightly. Try more like being a scattered blood stain all across your office walls, ceiling and floor, as I slowly and carefully dismantle you and the council one molecule at a time with my void release. You will tell the public people about my parents. You will reveal what really happened to the 9 tails the night I was born. And you will inform your advisors that they're sitting on death's doorstep with you right now. Or so help me Kami, I will raise every demon in hell upon the village and its people. Starting with you, Danzo, Kaharu and Hamura." And Hiruzen said, "Just how exactly did you find out about my law forbidding anyone from civilian or shinobi families to adopt you under any circumstances, Naruto? How did you come across this knowledge if I've never once mentioned it to you or anyone else besides the council? What did you do, Naruto? What happened on that island of the Uzumaki clan? What did you find that I'm not aware of?" And Naruto said, "That's the funny thing about time and space. No matter how hard you try to erase evidence of certain events from the history books, history itself can never be erased from existence, since it exists as a form of space and time given a physical form by way of some kind of event. Ultimately, history, like the universe, is infinite and can't truly be gotten rid of. Forgotten about and removed, yes, but never destroyed. History can only be changed or rewritten. It cannot be destroyed, it cannot be erased. Only forgotten, changed or rewritten. Replaced by false events and lies to cover up the truth. Now you're probably asking yourself, how did I pull this off? What did I find to see such events happening as if I were there? How could I be there if I was just an infant born into the world, right? Well, I'm going to tell you something about my clan you're not going to believe. Before the Uzumaki clan were ever allies with Konoha and Fire Country, they were and still are to this day in alliance with the Land of Iron before Hashirama Senju ever married Mito Uzumaki. And Hiruzen said. So it's true that Lord Mifune wasn't being honest with Konoha, was he? He never trusted Fire Country from the beginning, so he decided to stay in alliance with the Uzumaki clan. By way of a blood seal contract. And Naruto said. Yes, he has. And so long as a single Uzumaki clan member remains, well, you can probably see where this is going, don't you? I'm one of the last remaining Uzumaki clan members left. Of the Uzumaki clan royal family, no less. In other words, all I have to do is go to Lord Mifune. Tell him who my parents are. Explain to him everything I've learned and everything you haven't told him about my parents' deaths. Then faster than you can say Kyuubi is as fast as his trading deals with Fire Country ends in a single day. And let's face it, old man. Konoha has become far too reliant on their metals to make swords and other weapons for the Anbu Black Ops, if I'm not mistaken, right? Wouldn't it be a shame if Konoha no longer received the chakra metals that come from Iron Country to make weapons because I requested the trade routes to stop? Bad for business if you ask me. And Hiruzen said. This is political blackmail, Naruto. I'm surprised that you have changed so much in such a short amount of time. Sadly, there's very little I can do about my advisors or the council to make your heritage public. It's for your own safety, Naruto, you must understand that. It's why I had Yugao and her fiancé Hade adopt you to begin with. I'd hope that with your Anbu protector closer to you, that the odds of you getting attacked by the village council and villagers in general would decrease. It seems I was only half correct. Perhaps more protection detail is needed to keep you on a short leash. Tenzu. As of today, you're going to be living with Naruto and Dot. Naruto then snapped his fingers as all the Anbu in Hiruzen's office fell to the floor and Naruto approached Tenzu. Naruto then removed his mask and saw who it was. Said. Ah yes. I've read about your artificially implanted Mokutan bloodline abilities of the Senju clan. You're the only one out of 50 human infant test subjects that Orochimaru worked on, and the only one to survive it apparently. A shame really. Since technically that doesn't make you a real Senju clan member. It only makes you a test subject that Orochimaru abandoned and was now being used by the Hokage as a way to control me. All for the namesake of power and control. You're no better than Kakashi-sensei with his implanted Sharingan eye from his dead teammate. Nothing more than a pawn in pursuit of greater power for Konoha to remain the strongest. And Hiruzen said. Naruto, that's enough. I'm not sure how long you have known all this information, but Yugao's right. Alone you're far too much of a risk to be outside the village or anywhere else for that matter. Apparently the smarter you become, the more your power grows. You're becoming too much of a liability, so I'm going to make Yugao Yuzuki your assistant sensei to Kakashi Hatake. Try what you want, Naruto. I won't be letting you blackmail me into giving in to your demands. Absolutely not. Naruto then said. Well shit, I was hoping this didn't have to get ugly, but I guess I'm left no other option but to do the unthinkable and most regrettable. This is your last chance before I turn your living body into a bloodstained old man. Tell the village everything about who my parents were. I will, after I've scattered your remains all over the office. So what's it going to be, old man? My heritage revealed to the village, or your death and the destruction of Konoha by way of a massive black hole? Hiruzen realized he was backed into a corner. On one hand, he could stop all of this nonsense and do what Naruto wants and keep his head. Or he could die by the boy he always thought of as a second grandson to him and face Naruto's angry mother Kushina and a very furious Minato Namikaze in the afterlife. Plus an angry Hashirama and Tobirama sensei, as well as a very temperamental Mito Uzumaki. And he really didn't want to face the Uzumaki clan matriarch after all these years. She was frightening enough in life, he didn't want to deal with her in death as well. Hiruzen then said. Very well, I'll do what you are asking me for, Naruto. But only because I'd have to deal with your parents and an angry Mito Uzumaki, plus my two furious sensei in the afterlife. And they were almost as frightening in life as they could be in death. You're a dead reminder of them, obviously. Anything else you want me to do? And Naruto said. Yes, get my perverted godfather and gambling-obsessed grandma Tsunade and Jiraiya back here immediately. It's time we had a little family chat with one another before the Chunin exams begin. They have until then to return with an explanation, or you will mark them as rogue shinobi with their traveling rights revoked. I'm leaving. Goodbye, old man. Don't send any more messengers unless Jiraiya and Tsunade have returned. Naruto then vanished in a shroud of black smoke, leaving behind a downtrodden Kakashi Tenzu and Hiruzen Sarutobi to contemplate just how to control Naruto exactly without directly interfering with him. Hinata then said, Lord Hokage, I could keep an eye on Naruto-kun as well if you want me to, that is. He's less likely to kill anyone if I'm around. He will listen to me. Trust me. I know him better than anyone else. He would never harm me at all. If anything, he protects me more than my own clan or my father could. Powerful he may be. But around me that power of his becomes subdued and tame. And Hiruzen said. You can guarantee me that Naruto would never harm you for any reason whatsoever and you alone can keep him from destroying the village. I find it highly suspicious, but I'm willing to put my faith and trust in you, Hinata. You're just as much Naruto's protector as he is yours now. Am I understood? And Hinata said. Yes, Lord Hokage. Oh. And you might want to expect a visit from my father and the other clan heads within the hour. They're not very pleased with what you have kept from them. Naruto-kun has sent a letter with a copy of his photo and his parents' photos to all the clans in Konoha. Good luck with the headaches and paperwork that are coming your way. Because you're going to need it. Let's go, Shino. We must be getting home before our families begin to worry. Hinata and Shino then left the Hokage's office and back to their respective family compounds, and no more than an hour later all the clan heads were assembled in front of Hiruzen in his office with their respective bloodlines active and ready to kill. Hiashi was furious, Shibi Abiram was angry. Shikaku Nara was ready to use his shadow strangle jutsu on the Hokage. Tsuminyazuka was pissed off to the point her more animalistic features were showing and wanted to rip open the Hokage's throat and let her companion Kuromaru use it for a chew toy. Toza Akamichi was cracking his enlarged knuckles, and Inoichi Yamanaka was about ready to mentally scar the Hokage's brain for eternity. Case in point. They were all furious as the combined killing intent alone made him suffocate in sweat. Hiashi then said. You have a lot of explaining to do, Lord Hokage, and with the current situation you're facing it had better be good, or we're going to take turns showing you what makes each of our clans so well respected and feared at the same time. Now then, let's start with why we were never told about Minato and Kushina having a son. And that it was Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze no less. Well. We're waiting. Tsuminyazuka then said. Kuromaru hasn't eaten in a while and could use a new chew toy to play with. I think ripping out that soft squishy throat of yours with my bare claws will do nicely. Unless you have a good reason for me not to tear you apart. Shikaku Nara then said. This is so troublesome, but I'm half tempted to use my clan's shadow strangle jutsu on your neck and choke you to death. Choza wants to see how much force it will take before he cracks every bone in your body, and Inoichi wants to forcibly extract the information from your head. Each of has a bone to pick with you, Lord Hokage. And as for Shibi Abiram, well, let's say that he wants to slowly drain every last drop of chakra from your body and then turn your body into an empty shell by draining every last drop of blood from you with his insects. And Hiruzen said. I can understand how you're all very much furious for me not telling you the truth about Naruto's heritage. But at the time 12 years ago I didn't seem to think that it was important for you to know. Or for anyone on the council to know who Naruto's parents were. You were all so closely connected to Minato and Kushina in some way, shape or form that I knew you would all be out to adopt him. So to prevent the possibility of infighting between clans, I made a law that no family, civilian or shinobi clan could adopt him. Regrettably, one of my worst decisions was telling the people he was the Nine Tails' new host and not inform the people of the reason why he was chosen. I believed that the less everyone else knew the safer he would be. It seems like I was only half correct. The Anbu Black Ops, well, let's just say that not all of them answer to me. Some of them are part of Danzo's root Anbu organization. He began convincing the entire civilian council and the villagers that Naruto was the Nine Tails in human form. Unfortunately, I was too late to prevent these rumors and lies within the council. And for the last 12 years Naruto has become isolated and hated because of what he apparently already knew about. I'm sorry that you all had to find out the hard way. But it seemed like my only best option at the time. Tsum then growled out and said. That's a load of bullshit and you know it. We, the Shinobi Clan Council, have written up and gotten a petition with enough signatures of the shinobi and civilian population to have you impeached from office. With the daimyo's seal of approval you are to step down and appoint a new Hokage. And Hiashi said. This was agreed upon in a private meeting of the clan heads respectively, and once all of or a majority of the clan heads agree on something, it is immediately brought up with the daimyo whose authority overrules yours and the council elders. The daimyo has given all of our clans the right to a shared support plan of Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. If this were a game of shogi and the pieces on the board were placed. Your king would as it stands be in checkmate. Face it, Lord Hokage. You've lost. Naruto's just indirectly gotten his revenge against you and the council. You're in a situation where there's nothing you can do to sweet talk your way out of it with politics. Because politics have failed you this time. Hiruzen then said. Well, you're all very correct. There's more than a dozen signatures on this petition by people who actually support Naruto, my own clan as well, from what I can see. Backstabbing bastard son of mine and my grandson Konohamaru as well, I see. Even the T&I department have signed this petition for me to step down as Hokage. That doesn't surprise me at all. The Anbu always did enjoy chasing Naruto as a form of training. Very well. If the daimyo has signed and approved of this petition for my removal from office, then I have no choice but to comply with his orders. I just hope you people know what you are doing and how big a mistake you're making. And Inoichi said. The only mistake we made was letting you be re-elected as Hokage. If we'd known this would happen, we would have gone to the daimyo sooner. You're expected to be gone from office when Tsunade and Jiraiya return. After which the daimyo will see which of them is better suited to be the 5th Hokage. The clan heads all filed out of the Hokage's office and went back to their respective families, as Hiruzen knew that he only had less than 6 months to tell the village the truth about Naruto's heritage. Watching from the shadows with his void release, Naruto was at home looking through the portal he'd secretly placed there in the Hokage's office on the ceiling placed under a genjutsu, and was pleased with what he was seeing. The 3rd Hokage wasn't going to be in office much longer, and someone more responsible and less lenient would take his place. The question is, who would be the one to take his place? Tsunade or Jiraiya? Only time would tell. Time that wasn't on Hiruzen's side. 3 months after the wave mission, Jiraiya and Tsunade had returned to the Hidden Leaf village after being threatened by their sensei Hiruzen Sarutobi to be labeled rogue shinobi and their traveling rights revoked. Needless to say, Tsunade wasn't too happy about that and would rather die of alcohol poisoning instead of going back to Konoha. They both made it to Hiruzen's office and looking at Jiraiya, Tsunade said. Sarutobi-sensei had better have a very good reason for making us return so unwillingly, otherwise I'm going to kill him if he's not already dying from that pipe he smokes so much. I wonder what this is about anyway. And Jiraiya said. I'm not sure, Tsunade. But I'm getting a very bad feeling something terrible is about to happen. If not, it already has. Whatever it is, it can't be good news at all. I've been hearing rumors about Sarutobi-sensei getting impeached from office in a majority vote by the daimyo and clan leaders. And Tsunade said. What? How is that possible? He's the Hokage. Who could have that much power and influence to do something like that? And Jiraiya said. The one person we've both neglected for 12 years. The very legacy that Minato and Kushina entrusted us with. Your grandson and my godson. The 4th Hokage's son. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, and from what I've heard, he has unlocked his bloodline ability, the void release bloodline. The kid's getting stronger with each day he becomes smarter. If we're unable to reason with the kid and explain ourselves for why we left him as an infant and threw him to the wolves of the village, well, let's just say that there's no coming back from what he's capable of. He has been studying non-stop on how to control, manipulate and even travel through time and space itself. Molecular and atomic cellular construction and deconstruction of molecules, atoms and everything in between. The kid's intelligence far exceeds anyone from the Nara clan. On top of everything else, he can open dimensional wormhole portals to other worlds. He literally has the power of the universe at his fingertips and could kill someone with a snap of his fingers. All he has to do is visualize how it happens and poof. He snaps his fingers and you're dead. He even has the potential to cure any disease, big, small or widespread. The entire village fears him more than they did before. His only restraint. Hiashi Hyuga's daughter Hinata. Without her constantly watching him, he would kill the first person who's looked at him the wrong way. So watch your step with him. Sarutobi-sensei put him under the watchful and adopted eyes of Yugao Yuzuki and Heiichi Echo. But even that didn't stop the kid's power from growing. He found something in Whirlpool Country. Something that revealed the whole truth of what happened the night he was born. And that's why we're forced to come back. Tsunade and Jiraiya then entered the office and greeted their old sensei, but the pleasantries didn't last long, as the next thing they saw was a dark cloud of smoke and enormous amounts of killing intent rolling off of who's behind it. After the technique vanished, they saw what could only be described as their own worst nightmare. It was Naruto. Accompanied by Hinata, surrounded in a dark black and purple cloak of chakra that ultimately put the fear of Kami into them. Naruto then used his void release and manipulating the gravity around Tsunade and Jiraiya said. Sit down, now. We have much to discuss. And even more time to sort things out with each other. The two of you abandoned me. Left me for dead as an infant with a 9-tailed fox sealed inside of me. Did you ever once bother to see for yourself if I was even still alive? Or did you just take the council and Hokage's word for it and believe a fabricated lie to keep you from adopting me? Don't answer that because I already know everything. How you, Jiraiya, were made my sworn godfather. And how you, Tsunade Senju, are my grandmother. I found out that there's more to the story of the night I was born than what's been told to everyone. A lot more. But first, let's address the reason you're brought back to Konoha. First of all, you should know the rumors about the old man Hokage being removed from office are true. Second, the main reason you're both brought back is so the daimyo may interview both of you individually to decide who is better suited for the position of 5th Hokage. But we already know who's going to be chosen, don't we, old man Hokage? And finally, you're both here to explain why you left me in the unsafe hands of a senile old man like him who can't even control his own damn council. You're pathetic. What kind of godfather and grandmother abandon their own family and godson? If Hinata-chan wasn't here right now I'd kill you both where you're sitting right now. Hinata gripped Naruto's hand tightly, feeling the same way, but rather than voice her opinion she simply hugged Naruto and told him to relax. To Jiraiya and Tsunade's surprise, she truly did seem like the only one to tame the hatred and anger not influenced by the 9 tails, but rather, Naruto himself. The situation with Naruto was far worse than either of them ever imagined. 12 years they neglected him, and for 12 years that hatred only kept growing and growing before it broke free. But perhaps Hinata was the dim light at the end of that very dark tunnel, and hopefully that light only grew brighter. Naruto's killing intent was still leaking out, but not as heavily as before. While Naruto and Hinata sat there on the couch in the office in silence, Hiruzen decided to speak up and said. As the two of you neglectful guardians can clearly see, Naruto's power has grown to the point where everyone fears him. Nobody's able to get near him without Hinata around, and not one villager is crazy enough to attack him for what he contains. Naruto's told me that even the 9 tails, the most powerful tailed beast in existence, is afraid of his host's potential to kill without reason or without remorse. Without any regards for human life at all. He could easily kill a jinchuriki and their tailed beast if given the opportunity to, and if left alone long enough. Could erase Fire Country from existence. Both of you will watch over him with Hayate and Yugao to ensure he doesn't go rogue. If that happens, Kami, help us all. It would be the end of the world as we know it. The entire world. With Konoha as ground zero. Jiraiya and Tsunade just looked at each other, then at Naruto, then Hiruzen, then back to Naruto and Hinata, and then each other again. It was in that moment Tsunade realized what had to be done. As much as she hated it, she had to take up the mantle of Hokage to protect her from Naruto's wrath. Jiraiya also knew that until Naruto could fully control his power, he would be under constant watch by the toads on Mount Myaboku. Naruto then said. I know what you are thinking, Jiraiya. You're thinking I need to be isolated from the village and stay with the toad summons, right? Well, sorry. But I've had enough of being kept hidden and isolated for one lifetime. I refuse to go through it again. I'd rather be respected through fear than treated like the last Uchiha as a god. Make no mistake, I'm still very angry with both of you. Just not as much as I'd normally be without Hinata-chan by my side. Without her, my power has no limits. Without her, I know nothing of the word mercy. And without Hinata-chan, Hell's gates would open up and everything from demons to the immortal goddess Izanami herself would be unleashed upon the world. Hinata and I are leaving. Make your decision soon, old man. Because the daimyo is no more than a day's travel away from the Hidden Leaf village. And he's not one bit happy with your actions at all. Naruto and Hinata then vanished in a dark black and purple cloud of smoke and lightning, leaving Jiraiya to think that Naruto had mastered the Hiraishin technique. When really, Naruto had taken it to a whole nother level of time-space ninjutsu. One thing was for certain. Jiraiya and Tsunade had their hands full, and it would only be a matter of time before the daimyo showed up and decided on Hiruzen's successor. Time was running out, and with only 24 hours left to choose between his 2 students, he had to decide fast. Otherwise it's curtains for the whole village and Hiruzen as well. I hope you guys liked the story. If you did, click on any of the videos which are popping on the screen right now. I promise you'll love them too. If you like my videos, you can like and subscribe too. I'll see you on another amazing What If video, guys. Love you all, peace.